Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Dinney, and welcome to Gentle Morning Flow, also known as the Slow Flow, a class that has many names. So you'll need 2 yoga blocks as well as a yoga strap today. And we'll start off in my favorite wake-up pose, or one of them. It's hard to choose just one. Supported fish, 1 block behind the head, and a 2nd block in between the shoulder blades. So you can have one last sip of coffee. Oh yeah. And then we'll make our way into supported fish. I recommend bending your knees and coming onto one forearm at a time. Slightly arch the upper back, engaging between shoulder blades. And then you can use your hands to adjust the block so it's below the neck, and the second one supports the back of the skull. And you can start by bringing your arms out to the sides, relaxing there. Just make a mental note of where your coffee is, if you're having one. It's really hard to drink it in this actual posture, but we won't be here for too long. And feel free to let your knees fall out to the sides, gently stretching the inner legs. And so just by laying here, you might already be feeling some really great benefits, so feel free to just enjoy the stillness of this posture. You may also find it really nice to roll your shoulders up to your ears, down to the floor, and then down the back. I call it the shoulder loop, which is a term that came from Anusara Yoga maybe 20 years ago. I never really studied that style, but they had some pretty good cues for certain things around the shoulders. So you loop the shoulders up to the ears, down to the floor, and then down the back. And you may find that you get the benefit of massaging the yoga block into your upper spine. Some people find that kind of uncomfortable, some people really enjoy it. So you can see what feels right for you this morning. And then on a long inhalation, reach the arms straight up to the sky, touch the hands. And then long exhale, go out to the sides, slowing the movement, resist gravity. We'll do that 5 times. Inhale, reaching up, join the hands. Shoulder blades can even spread. On the exhale, go out to the sides, gradually drawing the shoulder blades a little bit closer. Inhale, lift the arms, reaching up. Notice the shoulder blades spreading apart. And then on the exhale, we go out to the sides. They naturally come a little closer together. 2 more to go. And last one. And then take a breath in with your arms out. We'll do the same thing, but we'll switch the breath around. So exhale to reach up to the sky, joining hands. More like a push-up. Inhale out to the sides, drawing the breath all the way up to the chest. Exhale, reaching up, keep the chest expanded, hands together. And then draw the breath up the spine, all the way up to the heart, arms out to the sides. And then explore a few more to go. Last one. Exhale, reaching up. And then pause there, 5 breaths. So you could try bringing the hands a little bit wider, like shoulder width, as you reach up to the sky. You may find it nice to keep them closer together. You can play around. And depending on the dimensions of your spine and in between your shoulder blades, you might be able to get the yoga block to slide in between your blades. So I'm being a little bit selfish with this variation. I realize it doesn't work for everybody. But if you're one of the lucky few, the yoga block has this way of massaging the inner border of your scapula, that space in between the shoulder blades. It's like the best place to massage somebody, you know? Everybody's sore there. few more breaths. And then long inhale. Reach the arms overhead towards the back of your mat, shoulder width apart. Long exhale, bend the elbows to a W shape, squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale, keep the W, but turn your shoulders in. Hands near the floor, next to your hips. Exhale, palms face the sky, turning the shoulders out, full W. Inhale, reach the arms straight back, overhead position. Exhale, W shape, keep the chest open. On the inhale, keep the bend, pivot over the elbow, turning the shoulders in, palms towards the floor, they don't have to reach. Exhale, turn the shoulders out, palms face the sky. And continue with that movement, straight back on the inhale. Exhale, bending arms into W. Spin inwards on the inhale, but try to keep the shoulder heads rolling back towards the floor. So your palms might not come as far down, and that's part of the point. Exhale, shoulders turning out. Inhale, arms reaching back. Exhale, W shape. Inhale, shoulders turning in. Stay strong between the shoulder blades. Exhale, shoulders turning out. Inhale, lift the arms straight back. Exhale, bend the arms, W shape. Inhale, turn the shoulders in. And then you can pause at any of these movements, wherever that may be, and we'll just hang out for about 5 breaths or so. Long, slow breath. 3 more to go. Constricting the throat. Find the ocean breath known as Ujjayi breathing. It could make a soft sound like a whisper, or it could make no sound at all. This is really more about giving texture to the breath, narrowing the throat, slowing the flow of the breath. And then take one more long inhale, reaching the arms back overhead. And we'll hang out there 5 slow breaths, 5 more. Arms reaching to the back of the mat. And see how it feels to hover the hands an inch or so off the floor, so you're resisting gravity a little bit. Notice how this uses more muscle around the armpits, spreading the shoulder blades a little. It's just like downward dog, but upside down. Try taking the shoulders even further away from the floor now, staying somewhat in the overhead position. 2 more breaths. And before anybody falls asleep, we'll transition. Bring your legs together, bend the knees, soles of the feet on the floor. And then engaging your abs, support the back of the head with one of the hands. And you can roll over to the other side. And then slide the blocks just out of the way. So you can lay down and hug your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. Gently rock side to side, massaging the back. And then squeeze the right knee to the shoulder. Straighten the left leg towards the front of the mat. And there's options. You can hang out here, simply holding the posture, knee towards your shoulder. Give it a good squeeze. Option 2, exhale, engage the core, slight tuck of the chin. Lift your head and shoulders, bowing the knee. Inhale, slowly lower your spine and your head. Again, exhale from the core, bowing forwards, strong in the front of the neck. Inhale, slowly lower. Last one. Exhale, head towards knee. Inhale, slowly lower. And then exhale, place your left foot on the floor, bending left knee. And then bring that right ankle up to the sky. Half happy baby. Take hold of your right foot with one or both hands. I'm getting cuddled by my cat here. And then explore it, gently drawing the knee out to the right and across the center. Gently rocking that leg from half happy baby towards a modified pigeon. And this pose is called the Cradle Rock Stretch. Just kind of rocking around in the hip. It does help to flex your toes towards your shin. So we're trying to stabilize and contract around the ankle. So the movement isn't really around the ankle in this context. It's more targeted towards the right hip, the back of the leg, and the glutes, the buttocks. And now we'll bring the right ankle outside of the left thigh. Setting up for a spinal twist, bring your arms out to the sides. Press into your left foot to lift your pelvis, and then shimmy the pelvis over to the right. On an exhale, lower the legs towards the left. And you can use your left hand to gently pull down on the leg. Head can be centered. There's also the option to slowly turn the head, gazing over your right shoulder. You may feel a nice stretch in your lower back. You may feel it in your right hip. Potentially even the right chest if you're opening the arm. Give it a few more deep breaths. And see if you can feel the breath radiating out from the belly. Expanding into the sides of the belly. The sides of the ribs even. All the way up to the heart. One more long breath. And then we'll slowly come back to center, bend the knees, center the pelvis on the mat, and then hug the left knee to the shoulder. Give it a good squeeze, and try straightening the right leg towards the front of the mat. This is a really good place to stay. You can give that leg a big squeeze. Option 2, we'll do 3 gentle vinyasas, moving from the core and engaging the deep flexors of the neck. So imagine a double chin before you come up. And then exhale using the core, head to knee. Inhale down slow. And repeat. We don't actually care about getting the head on the knee, just a direction to move in. And last one. Using the exhale. This pose is called half apanasana. The apana pattern is that rounding spine pattern related to exhaling and contracting. And now we'll bend the right knee, placing the right foot on the floor. Open up your left knee joint about 90 degrees roughly. And then you can turn that left hip out, drawing the knee towards the floor, outside of the belly. Catch the foot with one or both hands and engage the ankle, flexing toes to shin. You can also push the outer edge of that foot against your hand. And we'll gently rock side to side. Exploring around that left hip. You may feel it a bit in the glute and the back of the leg as well, and the hamstring. Explore. Few more breaths. All right, and then we'll set up the twist. So push into your right foot, and then bring your pelvis over towards the left side. Then we'll take that left ankle outside of the right thigh. And with an exhale, bring your legs over to the right for the twist. And open that left arm up like a wing, head centered or turning to look over the left shoulder. And then drop into the depth of the breath. And you can be consciously taking really deep, long breath. You could also experiment with taking really slow breath that are much harder to notice, which is more of the kind of breath that would occur in meditation. It's really feeling the breath moment to moment. And notice that contracting of the exhale, helping to empty things out. That's part of the apana. And then the rebounding inhale that radiates out through the sides of the belly and ribs, all the way up to the collarbones, all the way up to the chest. And then we'll very slowly come back to center. Bend your knees. Center the pelvis on the mat. And rest your arms by your sides. With a long inhale breath, lift the arms over the head towards the back of the mat. Long exhale, lift the hips up for bridge. And then inhaling, bring the arms down again. Exhaling, lower down through the vertebra, one at a time, especially slow around the lower back, the lumbar spine. Inhale to lift the arms, reaching back. Exhale to lift the hips. Inhale, lowering the arms down. And exhale, lower through the vertebra. Continue at your own pace, a few more rounds. And don't worry about getting mixed up. There's no right or wrong. Just different movements to breathe in. Then for this last one, we'll hold bridge pose. So you can start with your arms by your sides, lifting the hips, long inhale. And then hold on to the edges of the mat with the hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades and try to wiggle the shoulders under your spine more. Now as you keep the squeeze of the shoulder blades, try to tear the mat apart with the hands. So this has the effect of co-activating opposing muscle groups in the shoulder, the muscles that retract the scapula, and the muscles that abduct the shoulders. Try drawing the shoulders away from the ears as well. 3 more breaths. This co-activation is quite strong in this pose. It can be really gentle in a lot of situations that can really affect the way we breathe. In traditional yoga, it's known as using the bandhas, the energetic valves. And then next exhale, come all the way down. Spread the arms like wings, windshield wiper the legs side to side, taking the feet as wide as the mat. Nice, easy movement. Try leading with one leg so you stretch the inner thighs. Let that leading leg eventually take the other leg along with it. I don't know about you, but I really need this class today. So we'll bring the knees towards the right side. You can keep the feet as wide as the mat. Explore engaging the left buttock and lifting the hip a little bit. You might feel a little stretch through the front of the hip, side of the spine even, or the belly. Hang out with it. Try to draw the breath up the left side body. Try to breathe into the belly. It's a great place to stay. There's also the option to hook the right foot on the outside of the left thigh. So that just gives a little bit more weight to the left thigh, helping to press it down towards the floor while still trying to lift the actual hip. So there's a little resistance in both directions. And this pose is really working the inward rotation of the left thigh, which is something that generally doesn't occur naturally in most people. Something we have to really work at. And we bring that little bit of inward spin into a lot of our positions, including standing and walking, to find a more neutral position for the hip joint. And then we'll slowly come back. Go side to side a few times, a little counter movement. And then bring both knees towards the left, keeping the feet as wide as the mat. And we'll start there, taking a few slow, deep breaths. Try pushing off the inner right heel, as well as the base of the heel, to help extend the right hip. And see if you can draw the breath up the right side of the belly, all the way up through the ribs. And those long, full exhales are really the key to create that empty space so that the inhale can more naturally flow in and radiate through the whole spine, left to right, front to back, up and down. And you're welcome to stay in this form or take the left ankle outside of the right thigh, weighting the right thigh down just a little bit. And breathe. very slowly come on up. Windshield wipers side to side. Start to make some circles with the wrists while you're at it. Curling the fists in towards the forearms, big circular movements in the wrist. And then we'll come back to center, roll to one side, and help yourself up. Place the hands just underneath your shoulders, table pose, and then take your hands even further forward than you usually would. Stay strong in the core. And with your exhale, sit back towards your heels, tuck the chin. With your inhale, explore coming forward to your own comfortable degree, keeping tension in the core, on a natural curve in the lower back. Exhale, sitting back. Minced my words there. So you can honor the natural curve in your lumbar spine while pushing through the hands, spreading the shoulder blades a bit. And part of the idea of being able to honor that curve is connecting with the floor of the core, the pelvic floor, as well as the transverse abdominis, the little drawing inwards below the navel. So for now, as you come forward over the hands, try keeping a slight tuck of the chin, like a double chin. Lengthen out through the crown. And then keep that as you sit back. Think of expanding the chest towards the chin. And the action in the low belly to get the lower transverse abdominis working with the pelvic floor. It's a little bit like putting on a tight pair of jeans. A little bit of a sucking in action. Just above the pubic bone, below the navel. So that's like the deeper layers of the abs, the deepest layer. The more superficial layer is still working as well. So we're still using the six-pack a little bit. But the deeper layers of the transverse abdominis are doing more and more of the work. And the easiest way to connect with that is focusing on a long, full exhale. And then we'll sit back towards the heels. You can rest the forearms on the floor. Feel free to walk the elbows further forward away from the knees. Keep the elbows close to the head. And we'll simply rest there. Gently press through your forearms, spreading the shoulder blades. And just notice the feeling of your breath. You might be able to feel the breath between the shoulder blades. Try to keep a little spread in between them. Let's take 3 more slow, deep breaths. And inhale, lift the head and chest. Bring your shoulders over your elbows. Take the feet about hip width, knees hip width. And as you push into your forearms, spread the shoulder blades. Exhale to help connect with the transverse pelvic floor. And lift the knees up. And we'll hang out. This is like a table pose on the forearms, knees hovering. And then try pushing your hips back as you exhale. And then inhale, slowly come forward. It's a very slow, small movement. Exhale, bend the knees even more, pushing the hips back. And then inhale, come forward. 3 more to go. Exhale, take the knees a little wider, flexing the hips. Inhale, come forward. 2 more. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, forward. Last one. Exhale, hips back. And inhale, come forward, knees down. And then we'll sit back towards the heels. This time straighten the arms, walking them forward. And come into puppy dog. So you can have the hands on the floor about shoulder width apart. There's also the option of going on to the fingertips as an alternative. And we'll hang out about 5 slow, deep breaths. Try to straighten the arms, starting with palms and then graduating to lifting the palms, going on to fingertips. Just gives you a little bit more access to that full range of motion in the shoulder. At the same time, keep contracting the abdomen. And that's going to help us use the abdomen to support the lower back, so that the intention of the stretch is more about exploring the range of motion in the shoulders. Two more breaths. And then very slowly come back. And we'll meet in a camel variation. So you can have the legs parallel, about hip width. Loop the shoulders up and back. Keep a little bit of tension in the core. Low belly sucking in. Pelvic floor lifting up. And then loop the shoulders. I get this giant crackling all around my collarbones every time. It feels great. And then we'll bring the hands near the sacrum. Keep the legs about parallel, so your feet are the same width as your knees. And then with an inhale, reach the right arm out to the side, and then forwards and up. And we'll come back to the center on the exhale. Just working with this first movement. Inhale, left arm out to the side, and then forwards and up. It's like lifting a chalice. And exhale, slowly come back. It's just like making a toast. Inhale, spread the arm, and then reach forwards, gazing up at the palm. Exhale, turning the shoulder in. Bring the hand behind your back. Inhale, abduct the shoulder, and then lift the chalice, make the speech. And exhale, turn the shoulder in, bringing the hand down. Inhale, right side, reaching forwards. So we're really encouraging external rotation of the shoulder. And then as the arm comes down, we're internally rotating. Left side, external rotation to reach up. And exhale, internal rotation to place the hand back. We're going to start adding to the movement now. So working with the right arm, inhale, lift the chalice. Then as you exhale, bring the hand behind your back and explore bowing forward. This will be affected by the range of motion in the ankle as well as the knee joint. Inhale, coming up. And then rest in the center on the exhale. Inhale, left arm up. And then exhale, taking the hand behind your back. Inhale, abduct the shoulder, and then reach up. Exhale, resting in the center, and explore your various options around how you keep your spine. So right arm, inhale. Try to keep your back straight as long as you can on the exhale. That's one way of doing it, training the hip hinge. And then try that on the other side as well, working with the left arm. So hip hinge, we keep the heart open, slight tuck of the chin. And then for this next one, take more liberty with rounding your spine into flexion. So on the exhale, you could look at your navel, rounding and stretching the back of the spine. And then on the inhale, come up. Resting in the center on the exhale and switch. So since your knees are bent, it's okay to round your back here. If you were going to pick up something heavy, you'd want to work more with a neutral spine, but we're just picking up our arm And this particular variation is really good because it lets you get away with all kinds of great stuff. And then reach the right arm up. Good. This time we'll pause there, tuck the toes under like a toe squat, and then step that left foot forward. Bend your right elbow close to the head and use your other hand to push back on the upper arm bone. And then walk your left foot a little more forward. Explore bending the knee more, and then reversing the bend of the knee. We'll do that 5 times. Inhale, bend the knee. You can go as far as you're comfortable. Exhale, reverse it. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, reverse. Let's do 3 more, but we'll change the breath. So this time, exhale to bend the knee. Inhale, reverse. And notice if you felt more stable exhaling. So that just means that you're more able to access your core as you exhale. It is possible to access it just as well in the inhale, but it does take quite a bit of training, quite a bit of practice. Now find a sweet spot and hold the pose. Continue to gently push back on the arm and then lean over towards your left. We'll take 5 breaths here. Imagine the legs were a pair of scissors trying to close towards each other. So as that left hip draws back, the right hip is pressing forward, engaging that right buttock to help stretch the hip. And then slowly straighten that leg, spread the arms out like wings. You can slide the left heel forward a bit, and then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. If you're short of space, bend the arms instead, holding the back of the head. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. 3 more. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Notice the movement coming from the side of the core. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale, left. And then from there, straighten the arms. Slowly take your right hand down to the floor or a yoga block. Left arm up to the sky. And make some big circles in that left shoulder. It's just like when we lifted the chalice, reaching forward by the ear, externally rotating the shoulder, and then we turn the shoulder in to bring the hand behind the back. And sorry if it sounds like microphone static. My cat is behind the scenes messing with my camera bag. I don't think she likes her new food this morning. And then we'll reach the arm up to the sky and pause for 5 breaths. Push strongly into your bottom arm, contracting that side of the core and drawing that shoulder away from the ear while opening the left arm up. If your neck hurts, you may prefer to bring the arm behind your back, the half-bound position, turning the shoulder in which case you could also relax your right ear down to your shoulder, stretching the left side of the neck more. Hey cat, leave that plant alone. This thing's a tiger, I tell you. Hey cat, what are you doing over there? This is not what I signed up for. All right, and then we'll bend the front knee, slide the foot back a little bit, and then slowly come up, returning to the camel position. And so we'll take an inhale to reach the left arm up this time. Exhale, pause there, bending the elbow, and then step your right foot forward. Tuck the left toes under for more support underneath the knee joint, and then try walking that right foot a little further forward, and we'll explore. So maybe you're inhaling to bend the knee, and exhaling to reverse the bend. You can also try the opposite breath pattern. Exhale to bend, a bit more stable, a bit more connected to the core, and then keep that as you inhale. And we'll do about 4 more of these. Helps to have the feet hip width or wider. And as you bend into that right knee, think of tracking it a little bit out to the side, laterally towards the little toe. Just like a good proper squat. I'm watching you, cat. 2 more to go. And looking for that sweet spot where, number 1, the lower back feels good. Number 2, there could be a nice stretch in the front of your left hip. And so find your sweet spot now. Continue to gently push back against that upper arm bone. Try to keep it as close to the head as you can comfortably. And then side bend, leaning over to the right. And we'll take 5 slow breaths. Really helps to contract the buttocks, pressing the left hip forward. And contract the right buttock, dragging the heel towards the back of the mat, even though it's stuck. That has the effect of turning the pelvis a little bit more towards the front of the mat. All right, and then come up, straighten your leg, take the hands to the back of the head, or spread the arms if you have the space. Take a breath in, rooting into your right heel, exhale, twist right, inhale, center. And again, exhale to the right, moving from the core, inhale, center. 3 more to go. Exhale, twisting, inhale, center, exhale, twist, inhale, center, last one. Exhale, twist to the right, straighten the arms out, and then take your left hand down to a yoga block or to the floor under your shoulder and make some big circles in that right shoulder. All the while, stay strong in the quadriceps of your right leg. That's going to help with lengthening the back of the leg comfortably. Big circular movements. And the next time that right arm reaches up, you can pause there or explore the half bound position to help stretch the right side of the neck where the right ear drops down, or the left ear drops down towards the left shoulder. Actively draw both shoulders away from the ears and breathe. 3 more slow breaths. And exhale, look down, bend your right knee, step your legs back, and we'll come all the way down onto the belly for Sphinx Pose. Resting on the hips. Take the elbows a little bit more forward. Let your belly rest on the floor, and we'll take the feet a little bit wider for the comfort of the lower back. And for many years in my own practice, I had to have my feet like pretty much as wide as my mat just to feel any comfort in my lower back. Didn't matter what the back bend was. And then over the years, gradually I could shorten the distance between the feet. So really listen to your body and play around with it. That's the moral of the story. And then see if you can feel your breath in the belly pressing against the floor. And see if you can feel that same breath radiating up into the ribs. Maybe you can feel a gentle spreading out through the sides of the ribs. And try to draw it all the way from the belly up to the collarbones, the chest. Are you ready to make peace, are you? Hey, pal. Hi there. Ooh, feisty today. You really don't like that food, do you? You're witnessing a hunger strike right now. I'm really hoping this ends peacefully, for my own sake. Okay, so we'll take those hands to the floor, and then Sphinx Pose becomes Cobra Pose. So as you push into your hands, start to lift the elbows, let the shoulders come up a little bit, and then try squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. You can keep a little bit of bend in the elbows, but think of pulling the hands back towards your hips, even though they're stuck to the floor. And that has the effect of engaging the lat muscles as well as the rhomboids, the muscles between the shoulder blades. And most people in our culture have an imbalance around the shoulder joint where Those muscles have become weak and underused from too much sitting and slouching. So really focus on that connection to the upper back, the thoracic. See if you can sense the shoulder blades connecting to the back of the rib cage, engaging. Good. Now with your pelvis on the floor, bring your heels together, lift the shins off the ground, and then start to pull back a little more as the heels squeeze together. See if you can feel the back of the legs contracting, buttocks contracting. And then we'll slowly come all the way down. Hands-free mode, so lift your arms like cactus branches. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the heels. Exhale, slowly come down. And repeat 5 times. Inhale, lift the arms, engaging the upper back. Try to lift your knees up. Exhale, slowly lower. And continue with the breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. A few more to go. And cats actually are quite good at giving massages. You really have to get to know them first, but she's really good at digging her paws into the upper back, and I'm always amazed at how strong her touch is for such a little thing. But that's what we're also able to connect to, is having a tremendous amount of power without having big muscles. Ah, that's the spot. So let's hold the next one. Everything comes up. We'll take a few breaths. About 5 breaths. Feel free to slightly tuck the chin, drawing the ears back over the shoulders. Low belly draws in. Pelvic floor has an upward lifting tone. Arms lifting away from the ground. Gaze beyond your nose to a single point on the floor. That's pretty adorable. And exhale, come all the way down. Good. And now we'll bring the left arm out to the side. You can keep the cactus form. Walk the whole forearm a little bit further out, and then we'll slowly roll over towards that left side, stretching the chest. This could be done with a straight arm as well, getting more into pec minor. I like to work with the bent arm, just get into some different connections, stretching the left chest. And you can even lift the head and shoulders off the floor a little bit. Take the right foot behind you. If you feel any strain in the neck lifting the head, you might choose to put a yoga prop underneath it. And try to really feel the breath, drawing the breath from the belly all the way up to the chest, especially the left chest on this side. Left shoulder blades squeezing into the middle of the spine. Retract the scapula. And then we'll slowly come back to center and switch sides. So you can bend the right arm like a cactus branch and bring the right arm out to the side. And we'll roll over. Feel free to take that forearm a little bit further off to the right, stretching into the right chest. Optional support for the head. And breathe. About 5 more slow breaths. And then slowly come back to center. Slide the blocks out of the way. And then bring the legs together. You can either interlace the fingers behind the back or hold the strap in between the hands. And initiate the movement from engaging between the shoulder blades. Lift the shoulder heads away from the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift the strap or hands off of the spine. So you could stay here. Next phase, lift the heart and chin a little bit. And lift the legs, squeezing the legs together. We'll go for 8 breaths total. Long, slow breath. Squeezing inner legs. Try to tear the strap apart while squeezing the shoulder blades. Two more breaths. One more. And exhale, relaxing down. Place your hands underneath your forehead. Take your legs wider apart. Big toes can touch. Tuck the chin a little bit and simply relax there. Try to relax your body as much as you can. And then we'll clear a pathway. This will be the last challenge pose that we do today. It's basically bringing everything together. So bring your hands towards your sacrum, legs together. And feel free to watch me do this first one. With an inhale, I'm going to bring my left arm out to the side and then externally rotate it, so thumbs up as it reaches straight ahead. And on the exhale, I'm going to bring it back. And then switch. Right arm out to the side. And then we externally rotate, thumbs up, lifting high. Exhale, bring it back. So that's the basic arm movement. And then we take that left arm forward, opposite leg up, lift the head. Exhale, come back. And go ahead and join in. Inhale, right arm, opposite leg, and with thumbs up. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, left arm, opposite leg. Exhale, center. Low belly strong. Inhale, other side. Lengthen through the crown. Exhale, center. And continue a few more. Go at your own pace. Next time the right arm comes forward, left leg up, hang out in the posture. Lift your left shoulder head away from the floor as well. Lift your right arm a little higher. A few more breaths. Notice the core at work. Exhale, center, head down. Other side. Inhale, left arm, opposite leg. And breathe. Lift the right shoulder away from the floor, strong in the upper back on that side. Lift the left arm fully into external rotation, full shoulder flexion. Exhale, center. Very good. Take a moment to rest with the forehead resting on the hands. One last variation. So reach both arms forward, palms facing each other, legs together. And we'll only move the arms. It's just really hard, this one. So feel free to bring your forehead to the ground. It's just as challenging. Slight tuck of the chin. And then lift the arms up and breathe. Try to keep the arms straight. 3 more breaths. And relax. Hands under shoulders. Sit back onto your heels. Right in time for puppy stretch. It works better if you don't have a puppy. He's so crazy. All the animals are nuts today. And so you can sit back towards your heels, reaching the arms forward. He listens to no one. And you're welcome to rest your forearms down. Feel free to let your tail get a little heavier, letting the spine round, inviting some rounding or flexion into the spine, which is a very gentle counter to the back bends we did today. And then very slowly lift your head and bring your legs towards the front of the mat. Hands about half a foot behind you. Seated version of windshield wipers. So as the heart lifts, we'll take the feet as wide as the mat and go side to side with the knees. And this continues to build upon that thread of back bending and opening the chest, creating more balance around the shoulder joint by focusing on the strength of the upper back and the retraction of the scapula. And I know this is something that I really need after doing a week of harder classes that involve a lot of weight bearing and plank positions and arm balances. There can be a lot of front shoulder dominance. So take both knees to the left and hold. Try to push your right palm down, puffing up the chest, stretching into the right chest. We'll take a few breaths here. Draw the ears back over the shoulders, slight double chin. You might get a bit more lift of the heart as you do that as well. And then other side, both knees to the right. Puff up the left chest, pushing down through the index finger knuckle especially. It's the more stable side of the wrist joint. And then we'll come back to center. So bring your legs out in front. Feel free to use your yoga strap. We'll take the left leg out, right foot in, and loop a strap around the ball of your left foot. You could hold both ends with one end with each hand. And then as you inhale, puff up your chest, hold the ends loosely so that you can retract the scapula. Root your heel into the earth and then push out through the ball of the foot. We'll take a few breaths here just to get really tall. Try to push your heel into the ground, push the ball of the foot into the strap, and see how much you can straighten the leg while keeping the heart lifted. And on your next exhale, go ahead and walk the hands up the strap. You can very gently pull on it, very gentle effort. Feel free to round your spine, bringing the head towards the knee. If that's uncomfortable for your back, you can either lift the heart or you can lift the knee towards the head. We'll take about 3 more slow breaths. Letting the breath flow through the back of the spine. It's a zoo in here today, let me tell you. The tiger and the pug. Who will win? And then inhale, lift your heart, set the strap aside. Right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm reaches back. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Bearing weight in the right arm, draw the shoulder away from the ear. You could take your left hand to the back of the head as an option, and then press the left elbow to the sky, retracting the scapula to help open up a little bit more. Strong in that index finger, thumb knuckle. One more breath. On the exhale, bring your left elbow down, rounding the spine a little bit to sit back. And then we'll switch, taking the right leg out. Left leg folds in. And you can take a strap around your foot. Resistance bands are actually really great to use for the technique we're doing as well. So you hold the end of it and then bend your knee just enough to get the back straight and try to squeeze your shoulder blades, pulling back while the heel roots down and the ball of the foot pushes out into the strap. It's just like pushing on the gas pedal. And you don't have to do it like that. It's just one way of exploring it. If it feels pretty good, you might try to straighten that right leg, contracting the quadriceps in the front of the thigh. And then root the heel down again. A few more breaths. Draw the ears back over the shoulders, a little bit of a double chin with the intention of axial extending the spine. The low belly draws in, the pelvic floor draws up. Literally create length between the vertebrae. And on your next exhale, you can soften the grip a little, walk the hands up the strap. Maybe you fold forward a little bit, maybe your knees bending. You can feel it out. And we'll take about 5 long, slow breaths. You can let your spine round. Slow, deep breath. Two more breaths. And with an inhale, slowly come up, lift the heart. Exhale, set the strap aside, take the left hand behind you. And then inhale, push into the hand, lift the hips, reaching through the right arm, or take that hand to the back of the head with a focus on pressing the elbow to the sky and retracting the scapula. This makes it a little bit easier to line up the shoulder to use the scapula that way. 3 more slow breaths. And then notice the feeling of the right foot and the back of the right thigh as you root down through that heel, engaging the back of that leg. Long exhale, slowly sit back, lower the elbow, and we'll bring the legs out in front. Bend your knees, bring the hands over your knees. On a long exhale, round your back, strong in the core of the body. And then take a moment to draw your knees in towards your shoulders, happy baby. So you could be doing this holding the knees or the feet. And then let go, moving into Shavasana, stretch the feet to the corners of the mat. Soften the shoulders down the back, away from the ears. And completely let go of the body, going into full relaxation. And I'll leave you to enjoy Shavasana on your own at home. Give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you have it, even longer. Go for a full-on nap if you can. And thank you as always for joining me. It's been my pleasure. Hope this served you well.